Welcome to Small Business, Big Network, the podcast for small business owners who want big results from their networking. I'm Liz Drury, a freelance voiceover artist who knows that if you're not working, then networking could help. Lee Randall-Pybus is one of the people behind the Your Partnerships network, a network that started in Cornwall and Devon and has now spread across the world. Unfortunately, we did have to put up with some background noise during the interview, but I'm sure you'll agree that Lee is well worth listening to. Thank you very much for joining me on the podcast, Lee.
Well, an absolute pleasure. And just before we started recording, I think I've not had so much of a laugh before, talking to anybody before we've done a podcast before.
Just to explain, I had a guy on my roof doing some roofing, and what was happening at your end, Lee?
Oh, I've got broadband being put in and he's bang, bang, banging. He's doing it right now. He's got no respect.
So we apologise for any background noise. Lee, so you're involved with something called Your Partnerships. So tell me something about that and how it came about. You describe yourself as being the thief of your partnerships.
Yeah, I better explain this in a bit more detail because people will wonder what you're talking about. But basically, it was a few years ago now. I was actually employed to be... Can you hear the banging?
I can hear the banging now.
I was actually employed to be the events director for Torquay Chamber of Commerce, where I live in Torquay. Basically, I went to their annual general meeting. I piped up and I said, "You're not doing any network, you're not doing this, you're not doing that." And they said, "Okay, you can come and do it for us." And so I sort of taught myself into it. But I'd been to one networking event beforehand, and I really didn't enjoy it. I'd only ever been to one before I did this, what it wasn't anything to do with the event. It was just I didn't know how to network, because there is an art to it, which obviously we'll come to. But I then joined LinkedIn and I started messaging people and saying, I'm started working with the Chamber of Commerce. We've got our first event coming up on this date. Can you come along? It'd be great to see you there. And then I literally messaged a guy who I'd met previously called Richard Woods, who's based in Cornwall, and he said, "You need to speak to a guy called Brock." Now, Brock is this guy's surname. He's called David Brock, but nobody calls him David. He introduces himself as Brock, and that's how he's affectionately known as. And I got in touch with him, and he said, "I run Cornish Partnerships," and it was just a networking company that he had set up all over Cornwall, and it was a membership program. People could join £20 a month and they could attend any networking event that they want to within the month. So he invited me down to one of his events, and I went down there. There was about 50-60 people in the room, and literally he spent a good 40-45 minutes with me in a corner. I just loved it. I thought he gave me such a good amount of his time. He didn't know me from Adam, and he wanted to help me create some of these networking events in Torquay, where I was. So then, about a week later, after speaking to him, I said, "Why don't you have like a Devon Partnerships as well?" He said, "If you take a look at my website, you'll see why." So I looked at his website, and he was literally running between 8 to 10 face-to-face networking meetings a week. And then it sort of clicked to me. He hasn't even got time to do it. So I said to him, I said, "Well, what if I do it? Can I bring this into Devon and see how it goes and see if we can create some of the same amount of networking events that you're doing?" And straight away he said yes. And I thought, that's great. He doesn't know me from Adam. I could be anybody, but he gave me, we obviously hit it off and he trusted me to do it. And later on, I actually found the reason he said yes is because he'd started getting members from Plymouth, which is right on the border of Devon and Cornwall. And he started running a monthly event in Plymouth. And he saw the benefit of trying to combine Devon and Cornwall together with a monthly event at this venue in Plymouth, and to bring the two counties together so more connections could be made. And the Cornish people won't mind me saying, because I have a running joke with this, that people in Cornwall are scared to leave Cornwall. They're scared to go over the bridge. They think that Cornwall exists and there isn't any world outside Cornwall. So people started coming across the bridge to this event, and we were getting up to 100 people in the room. And there was so many connections going on. And when I started the Devon area, the memberships rose straight through the rooftops. It was just crazy how many people were coming on board, and to this day I still have no idea why. They'd heard of Cornish Partnerships, and they used to say, "Oh, we've been waiting for something like this to come into Devon, etc., etc." So I think that's probably it. But I loved it, and then within 10 months of doing that, I'd run just over 200 networking events.
Wow.
Yeah, and I got an award for it as well.
Good for you.
Yeah, it sits behind me. It's the Southwest Business and Community Awards Networker of the Year for 2020. January 2020, I picked it up. So
Congratulations. So, talking of 2020,
yeah.
what happened then in March?
Well, that's obviously when lockdown number one happened. We could see something was coming, and we obviously were researching how to get online quickly. And I think we pretty much got online like really, really quick before it all sort of closed down. So we were getting this prepared and everything. And we decided what we would do, because we normally let people have like a free trial for 30 days. That's what we used to do. And then if they could, test out as many networking events as they wanted to, and then they could decide after that if they wanted to join full time as a paying member. But when this started, we decided to, from the 1st of April, we'll do a 3-month free trial just to get businesses coming on and getting them connecting and just keeping that momentum going for businesses, because we felt it's the best time now to make those connections and keep it going. So we went straight online, and we ended up running 4 events a day. So we'd have an 8 a.m, a 12 p.m, 4 p.m, and then we'd have a social hour at 7 p.m. And this was no business chat, no business cards shown on the screen or anything like that. It was just to give people a chance to keep connecting with people, because we do realize some people live on their own, and they still need that connection. So those are really popular. You could get yourself a glass of wine or whatever you drink and just have a bit of fun. There was no holds barred. I know it was before the watershed, but we said, if you swear, you swear. But it was just literally a social hour, so everybody could just get together. But the other 3 that we did during the day, they were pure business and getting those connections made and keeping those connections going. And then we ran that, and it went very, very popular. We had lots of people coming constantly, and there'd be new people literally every day joining us. And I just think it was just great to keep those connections going for people.
Now, obviously, everything is online at the moment and anybody can go to any meeting anywhere, but you still do have regionalised meetings, don't you?
Yes, we do. Yeah. Well, as we locked down in March 2020, we were still operating technically in just Devon and Cornwall. But as I speak to you now today, we have Australia, South Africa, USA. We have literally, I would say, 70% of the UK operating we have area leaders that run their meetings in those areas. But because it's online, somebody can join a Devon event from Scotland, do you know what I mean? Because people can work anywhere, and they can connect with anybody now, which is the beauty of it. But yeah, so we do have like different areas that run in the UK, so you can attend any one that you want to, and we're now up to nearly 200 events a month.
Fantastic. And do you see this online format continuing into the future, even when people can meet again?
Yeah, definitely. It's something that we're going to carry on. Face-to-face, you can't beat that. And I think, the majority of people I've spoken to, they prefer face-to-face, and they can't wait for that to arrive again. But we will continue, definitely, the online structure. And I think, most other, if not all other networking companies will do that. And I think there's so much benefit from it, because, we're now connecting people across the pond, as they say.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, I know a lot of your your regionalised meetings are generic and any business can go along to them, but you have some industry-specific ones as well, don't you?
Yeah, we do. These actually came from when we did face-to-face. We used to do these a lot, and we introduced these probably the year before lockdown happened. So 2019, we introduced these because we realised some people in certain industries tend to not go networking. It was very rare you'd see like a builder, for instance, go to a generic networking event. But as soon as we put on a construction themed networking event, they were coming left, right and centre. But it was good because they were making connections with like the electricians, the plumbers, the architects and things. Yeah. So they're making all these worthwhile connections. So this year we decided to reintroduce that in the online format, and it's just crazy how popular they are. We try and cover every sector, and if another one comes to mind, or if someone says, oh, can you do something for my sector, we'll do it, we'll create it. That's why we called it Your Partnerships in the end, because we like all the members, the attendees, to tell us what they want. We'll create it and make it happen.
So tell me what the format of a typical meeting is like.
A typical meeting at the moment, obviously online, is we let people come in the room. We give them just a couple of minutes. After, so say it starts at 12 o'clock, we'll go from say 12 to 5 past. We will start the meeting. We'll get everybody doing their introductions around the room, and we'll change the amount of time that they have based on the amount of people that are in there. So if we feel that there's probably 10 to 15 to 20 people, we can let them have 60 seconds. If there's a lot more, then we'll let them have 30 seconds. We'll just keep it really pacey like that. And then we'll do breakout rooms. Sometimes we get one breakout room in there. We'll get two breakout rooms in there. Well, what I like to do as one of the hosts, when I host my event, I always listen to what people are saying, what their business is. And as they're doing it, I'm actually shifting them around in the background in the breakout room so that they can actually go with the right people, which I think works really well. And that actually spun off into the one-to-one events that I started, which you came to.
I did, yes. So tell us more about the one-to-one events.
Well, we were getting a lot of people saying that they've created so many one-to-ones with people off the back of the generic networking events. So my idea was to give them that as a platform as well, so they can literally come on. We open it up to 6 people maximum, so that we can give everybody a minimum within an hour of 10 minutes breakout room with everybody else on the event. So you can meet, if you're on there, you'll meet 5 other people if there's a full 6 on there. But I've had someone there where there's been 2 people, and I've said, okay, I'm going to put you in a breakout room for half an hour and see how you get on. And every time I've done that, they've come out, they've done business together.
Yeah, well, the meeting that I came to last week, I was in a breakout room with, there were 2 people that I already knew quite well. And one of them in particular, we had a great 10 minutes, learned new stuff about each other. I found out that her husband is in an industry that might at some time employ voiceover artists. I didn't know that before. And I probably wouldn't have got to know it had we not had that one-to-one. So the one-to-ones is where the magic happens, isn't it?
Absolutely. And I say to everybody, you never know who you're going to meet.
No.
That person might not be somebody that is directly a good connection for your business, but they will know someone who is, and that's the beauty of it.
Yeah. Well, I came along to one of your meetings this morning, which was actually in Australia. So it was an early start. It was 7 o'clock in the morning. And I have to say it was great fun, though I wasn't expecting to start with a dance routine.
I wasn't on this call, so I do not know anything about this dance routine.
No, it was hilarious. So it was just a way to kind of break the ice, really. The guy leading it put on Gangnam Style and wanted everyone to kind of join in, which was great, except I had just shoved a big piece of toast and marmalade down my throat, so I was feeling a little sick dancing about straight on top of that. But no, it was a great way to break the ice and, nice, friendly and relatively informal format, which I think worked really well.
Was it Joe? Was it Joe doing that?
It was Joe.
Yeah, see, I know before I even ask. Joe, he's a character, Joe is. Sometimes he'll come on and he'll have, because on Zoom you can have those filters where you can put a hat on yourself.
Yes.
And he'll turn up with a hat on or a virtual pair of glasses or something. But it is good. His personality, I love that. And it just makes people smile, puts people at ease.
And it gives people something to talk about when you then end up in a one-to-one, because you can't help but comment on the fact that you started your day dancing to Gangnam Style.
Absolutely. Brilliant.
But I was really surprised by the mix of people in there too. I wasn't sure whether it would be all Australians but it wasn't. It was a mix of Australians. There were some Brits in there. There was a French lady in there. So quite an international meeting, actually.
Oh, it's fantastic. And I've had these on the one-to-ones. I had one of them, literally had a guy from India, a guy from Bahrain, somebody from Scotland, somebody from Ireland. It was just so diverse.
And that's the beauty of the virtual networking, isn't it?
Yeah, I love it. I just love seeing people smile and make connections. And in the background, if I can make connections for them, this is outside of the networking events. I love doing that. I love making introductions for people.
Yeah, me too. So what kind of businesses come to your networks, or is it literally any kind of business?
Yeah, any kind of business. So when we first started, it used to be a lot of like one-man bands, the small businesses and sole traders and everything. But as we've evolved over the few years, we have like Mercedes-Benz come along with BMW. We had a guy come from Sainsbury's once. It's
Wow.
just crazy. They just come from everywhere, and that's what I love. We had a guy come. He was just doing social media, but he used to work with Manchester United. where do these people come from? I love the stories.
Yeah. Yeah. And like you said earlier on, you literally never know who you're going to meet.
No, you don't. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who you're going to connect with, and that's the beauty of networking.
So what kind of results have you seen people getting from coming to your partnerships?
Well, I will tell you one in particular. The very first one we did, which was Your Partnerships USA, the very first USA call. We had two people on there that had never met before. They made a connection, and they did $750,000 worth of business within the
Whoa.
next 2 weeks.
That's amazing.
Yes.
I think we have to say that probably doesn't often happen.
No, it doesn't often happen. That's why it sticks in my mind. But like it goes back to what we say. You never know who you're going to meet, and there's so many collaborations going on, and that's what I love about the industry specific ones, because a lot of people see other people in their industry as competition, and I think you're really putting a wall up when you think like that. If you can find a way to collaborate
Yes.
with that business, you're making such a stronger business for you and for them, because sometimes we get, say, 5 photographers in the room, and we never limit the people that come in. We don't have one from every industry. We allow anybody to come in, and we've had 5 photographers in the room, but one specializes in weddings, one specializes in business headshots, one specializes in aerial footage. It's all different,
Yeah.
and they can all come together. If you've got a business that is looking for something that wants a real range of different photography, they'll all go and work together. I love it. It's the beauty of it.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I always tell people as well. So what do you think is the best way to network? Is it to go to the same group week after week? Is it to try different groups out? Is it to come to your one-to-ones meeting? What do you recommend?
Try different ones. We always say to everybody, there's so many networking opportunities out there, not just with us, but other networking groups as well, and go to them, because you never know who you're going to meet. As we say it all the time, and I've said it a lot in this, but it's the truth. Go to the 4Ns, go to the BNIs, go to the other networking groups that are working all over the country. Now's the best time to do it, because it's all online. You can go to any networking event in the world, basically.
Yeah. And I think different types of networking suit different types of people.
Yeah, totally. But get your networking right. It's something I've learned over the years. Like I said, the first ever networking event I went to for my other business, I didn't enjoy it because I didn't know how to network. But make sure you get it right. Get your pitch right, And I've heard, some of your episodes on here. It's just brilliant advice that's been coming across, because you come across people. There was one the other day, and he did his pitch, and I timed it. It was 4 minutes, this pitch. And I thought, no, you're doing yourself a real disservice here. Just keep it short, keep it sweet. Just explain quickly how you can help people, what their problem is, how you can solve it, and then they'll want to talk to you a bit more.
Yeah, nobody wants to listen for 4 minutes, do they?
Oh, no way.
I've actually quite enjoyed it when the host has said you've only got 10 seconds, which is actually what happened this morning. We had 10 seconds.
Yeah, so there's one of them we do on ours, actually, and it's with the Entrepreneur Circle. We've got a collaboration with them, and we have 5 of the Entrepreneur Circle coaches come on. And how that works is we have 20 to 30 minute breakout room. There's 5 breakout rooms, and one of the coaches is in each breakout room. So anybody in that room can ask questions if they've got any challenges in their business, if they want help with any ideas for growth. And that's a really good event that we do. And literally, when they come on, you've got 10 seconds to tell us about your business. I give them 10 seconds. I'm quite strict on that one. Give us your name, give us your business, 1 sentence about what it does, and we move on. And it works. It's really short, sharp, because the basis of that event is to get people in those breakout rooms with the coaches.
Yeah. No, I think it's much better than having people waffling on for minutes on end.
You don't like waffle.
People stop listening when you waffle. So tell me what else you've learned about networking. You said that, when you first did it, you didn't get it right, you didn't enjoy it, and you've learned that you need to get your pitch right. But what else do you need to get right?
Do not go into networking to sell something.
Yeah.
Number 1 rule. You do see them that come in and they just want to sell stuff. That's the worst thing you can do. Networking is a slow build, and it's you've got to be consistent. It's a very consistent thing, but I honestly think it's the best marketing tool you can do. It's the old saying, people buy people, but they do. You build relationships with people, you build that trust, but you've got to help people first. Whenever you go to a networking event, just listen. That's the best thing you can do. Listen as much as you can and see what people need, and if you can help them, with a connection outside of it or any advice, then help them first, and that will always come back to you.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's the attitude to go in with, not selling to people, but helping them, because people don't like to be sold to, but they like to be helped, don't they?
Exactly. Spot on.
So how many members have you got now, would you say?
Well, we have currently active members in the region of 8 to 10,000
Wow.
worldwide. But with all the people that are currently on trial memberships and everything, all the connections that we do outside of the events as well, we have a network of about 66,000 people.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it keeps us busy.
And it's all grown so quickly, hasn't it?
Yeah, very quickly, frighteningly quickly. But it's great, and it's just nice that people want to get involved. More people just want to come on and help each other. Love it.
So what do you think the future of Your Partnerships is now?
I think we have a plan to obviously have Your Partnerships in every single area of the globe. When we started that, when Brock started it in Cornwall, he always says, I was minding my own business and then you came along and ruined the whole thing. So he blames me for it. But from that, we have so many people working on our team. We have like an in-house team of 14 people that do the admin, the websites and everything, the marketing and everything. And also we have a few guys that go out and do all the global connections. So the plan is that we have Your Partnerships in every single area of the world.
Fantastic. Well, good luck with it. And just finally, how can people find you? How can they join?
You can come onto our website, obviously www.yourpartnerships.co.uk. Just go along to that and have a look at the events and see how it's all structured and everything. But more importantly, I like to meet people. I like to have a call with people or a Zoom call or something, just so that I can explain a bit more and see how I can help that business. So email me, it's Lee, L-E-E, @yourpartnerships.co.uk.
Fantastic. Thanks very much for your time, Lee. That's been really interesting. Great insight into your network.
It's been an absolute pleasure. And for a voiceover artist, what a beautiful voice you have, Liz.
Well, thank you. Thanks for listening to Small Business, Big Network. If you found this podcast useful, please do rate, review and subscribe. And don't forget to share it with the rest of your network too.